Now let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself, because I've heard one of my sons he was around some others and he said something and he stopped and he went, "Oh my God, I'm sounding like my father." You know, and it was, you know, as teenagers you go, "I don't want to be like my," you know, and then all of a sudden you find yourself being like that image. Have you found yourself treating your kids the way your father treated you and things like that?
I wouldn't put it at that connotation, like, "Oh no, I'm just like my father." No, I'm actually proud to be like my father. My father went through Boy Scouts with me, and he was at every camp out I ever went to, and our bonding is just so tight. I go to his house and just to hang out. He's a very good friend of mine.
So that image, but it's more than an image.
It is. He's my best friend, one of them.
Praise God.
Yeah.
Amen. Now, Adam, do you find yourself, whether you like it or not, acting like your dad?
Not too much. You know, with him being a quiet guy and me being a quiet guy, there was always kind of a bit of a disconnect there. You know, it would have been, we weren't as close as what I would have liked, and he acknowledges that, and you know, he's come to me and approached me about that and said he has some regrets there too. But so I try to make sure with my boys, I got 2 boys, and I try to make sure that I give them my time as much as I can, just knowing what that feels like, and I don't want that disconnect to grow as they grow older. So I try to spend as much time as I can with them and just getting that relationship that Eric talked about a little bit more.
Okay. So someplace in there, that image or that vision, now, and you love your dad, and I don't want and don't want to disrespect, but some of the things that you saw in there that needed work, that image, someplace that vision, or maybe that image became a little bit more clearer to you, and you're working on that. And,
sure.
Okay.
It made me aware of what to look out for.
Okay. Now, Kim, how much do you see yourself like your dad? Because you look just like him. I mean,
I was just thinking about that, and I was thinking, you know, a lot of people think my dad's a character, you know, and
yeah.
I guess maybe I did get a little bit of that from him. I don't know, but on a more serious note, though, I think where I really see myself following after him is just in, I guess, a disciplined lifestyle. I mean, he always got up, went to work, you know, and he had a family to feed, and he was committed and disciplined to do what he had to do to raise a family. And I think I got some of that from him. I really do.
Okay. Now, I might use a different word, and one of those Ed Cole-isms kind of thing. He made this statement in talking about manhood. He said that maturity is not based on age.
There you go.
But based on that handling or accepting responsibility.
Right, exactly.
So in one sense, you say discipline, a couple of y'all mentioned discipline, but I might use the word responsibility, that one of the characteristics that maybe we see lacking today
that's a huge issue too.
is that responsibility. All right, talk about that for a second.
Well, I mean, you talked about when the kids in the class, you know, they don't feel that they have to learn. They don't feel that they have to study. They don't feel that they have to show up. There's a serious lack of that. And in the workplace, you get the same situation. I'm a salesman for Industrial Supply House, and I call a lot of manufacturing facilities in town. And you go in there, and I'll tell you, they got to hire sometimes 6 or 8 or 10 people to get one that sticks. One that'll show up to work on time every day.
Wow.
It's hard for me to believe, but it's true. That's where we are.
Yeah, I remember not too long ago, the Muskegon Chronicle, probably been a number of years ago, did a whole series of articles on employment and talking to some of the employers in town, and as in terms of looking for workers. And I remember one employer said, if we could get somebody that showed up for an interview dressed halfway decent and would come in, and they talked about people going into interviews and in the middle of an interview taking a phone call on their cell phone. It's like, and I know in talking with some of them, it's like if they can just get somebody that can pass a drug test and drop clean.
Exactly.
Now, Adam, you work in a manufacturing system, but yet you're in the office, but yet you go out in those settings. Sure. Do you see that same kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely. You know, exactly what Kim said. You have to hire 6 or 7 people just to sort out 1 or 2 good candidates today. And I don't think you get to that level without there being just a huge lack of responsibility. And that's probably learned, it starts in the home.
Sure.
They don't see the responsibility in the home, whether the father's not there or there and not there. But it's taught. And so they take that with them throughout their school work and their their job life, and it just you can see it. It's evident today.
Now, that's one of the things I think as we were talking, I should have saved those articles, but I think that's one of the statements that they made was that they, and I remember back before I was in ministry, I worked at the Kalamazoo Gazette newspaper in Kalamazoo in the circulation department, and I remember one day our boss in the circulation department coming out just ticked. I mean, I don't know exactly what happened, but he came out, he threw some stuff down, and he said, we've got tons of kids that are educated. Now, this is back in the 70s. Yeah. We've got very educated people, but they don't know how to work. And I mean, he just threw. And I think in that article, I think one of the things that they said is that the schools are designed to educate people, but not necessarily teach them how to work. And I think even in that article, they said that work is taught in the home, not in school. You learn in school. Yeah. But to learn how to work, to show up on time, to do a good job. And now we're talking about manhood. Now, Eric, what do you see in that? Now, I mean,
I see where you're coming from, where it's taught in the home. It's kids picking up their toys
there
where
you
it
go.
starts.
That's where it starts.
Pick up your. My mom did that to me. Clean up your room, or she's going to clean it for you. And she got the big black trash bag. She did it once. That was enough for me.
It's a learning experience.
Yeah, but it's just little stuff like that, and that's where the fathers come in. The fathers are responsible for teaching that in the home.
Yeah, it's true.
Now we're going to come back in a few moments. We may just pick it up right there, and man, we might get into some controversial stuff and talk a little bit about the difference between moms and dads and women and men. So listen, join us in just don't run away. Don't get mad because you didn't like what we said. But listen, we'll be back in a few moments and we'll continue this discussion about manhood.